everybody, and welcome to this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. Let's talk about anything and everything that is geek, whether it be TV, comics, movies, or video games. And I know it's been a while since I recorded a video. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on, and I think there's a no, and no duh, right? Yeah, y'all know it's been a while since I've made a video, and again, I apologize for that. Like, I've been busy with a great many things. But as y'all know, I think it's pretty much a no-brainer of what's going on right now in the world, and all this pandemic and everything going on. And there's a lot of worrying going on, but yeah. And everybody's trying to just get along like they can and stay well and everything. I'm doing the same. And pardon my voice, allergy season. Yes, it's still allergy season even when all this going on. But yeah, it's like I said, there's a lot of fear and panic in the world. But just all you can do. I'm just here to just basically, even with all this going on, there's still some geeky news that's still going on. There's still news breaking every single day, and there's still the Geekdom still goes on, and I know there's a lot of things that's still going on even amongst this pandemic, even though even all this stuff going on, there's still stuff to be said and everything. And I'm just going to go over some of the highlights right quick. And some ways that you could just take your mind off the situation. I'm sure y'all probably already doing that anyway. Just take your mind, put your minds at ease and everything. But start off with a few of the headlines, and that is, as y'all know, all the Diamond distributors has shut down. They've shut down comic book distribution and everything, and a lot of comic book stores have closed down. I mean, I will say this: just before the main shutting down of everything, a local comic book store of mine was actually doing curbside comic pickup, and I thought that was pretty neat that they were still keeping things going for as long as they could. And yeah, there was actually even after Diamond had shut things down, they were still keeping things going by putting things on their Facebook page and everything. Basically trying to say is, if you're all interested in this and this and this, call us up and we'll reserve it for you. They'll say, I want to buy that, and they'll reserve it, and they'll come pick it up, and they'll bring it to your car and everything. And I thought that was really neat. Of course, with all these stay-at-home orders and everything being instituted, they probably have had to close doors at least for now anyway. But yeah, a lot of comic companies, a lot of comic book stores have shut down for right now. They don't know when they're going to be able to open back up. There's some they don't know if they're going to open back up at all, and that's kind of sad to hear. But all I can say is let's just keep our fingers crossed and our hopes up that everything will return to the way it was before, and soon. And the comic book stores open back up, and we can go and buy comics again. And like DC, there's some that are doing they're basically what they're calling, I've seen online what they're calling pencils down, and that's they're basically DC and Marvel have basically told some folks to just stop work on whatever they're doing, some of the projects they're doing and everything. I mean, sound like me, Marvel has about shut down production on everything they're doing, at least for the time. But every day sounds like they're shutting down production on something. And I mean, they recently announced projects like Secret Warriors and X-Men and X-Factor, and let me just go ahead and say they sound like awful ideas and awful designs with awful ideas to go along with very awful ideas. I mean, I say X-Men, but it's really called like Children of the Atom. It sounds like it's like they turned them, like they're all teenagers. That's one thing I've noticed is like New Warriors is all teenagers, like a bunch of like modern teenagers. And it's just like, it just don't look. I mean, by now y'all definitely seen the designs for them and for all the books, particularly Secret Warriors, because last I heard about Secret Warriors, it was at like 200,000 dislikes on YouTube. Just a YouTube debut video that Marvel put out of these characters. And it's like they have basically it's just like it's thumbs downed it. I mean, it's just like it's very one of the most hated Marvel ideas I've seen yet. And it's just, and I'm gonna say it's terrible. It's terrible characters with terrible designs. It's just not it's just a horrible idea. It's just horrible. And I said, Children of the Atom sounds terrible. It sounds like like they're trying to do they're trying to modernize X-Men, and let me just say, the art looks terrible, and the idea doesn't sound very, very much better. And then you got X Factor, which just sounds like they kind of try to sound like it's CSI, but for X-Men. And I was just like, I actually saw where somebody commented on it. It's like it's so boring to put an espresso to sleep, and I kind of tend to agree with them. But yeah, it don't sound good at all. It don't bode well for Marvel in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it don't good. And it's like now, it's like they've had to shut down production on everything. The one thing I don't go along with, they're talking about like everything is it's like it don't go well for it's the end of comics, the industry's collapsing, and all this stuff. I was like, y'all are just feeding into the fear that is just already rampant anyway because of this stuff. You just need to calm down and wait on it and just see what happens, you know. And also, even though Marvel's got some bad ideas coming down the pike, it don't mean it's the end of the industry, you know. And just because everything's shut down, I mean, it don't mean it's the end. It's just a hiccup. They're just taking a break, you know. They just want to make sure everybody's well enough to work, you know. And I'm gonna say also, talk about ideas. DC ain't immune to it either, you know. They recently unveiled their. I think they've already unveiled this before because I saw this on Twitter someplace. They've already unveiled their new Suicide Squad, and they don't look very much better than the new Warriors. I mean, the idea, I must just say, the designs look very much DC. They do, to me, they do, but at the same time, I don't really like them either. I mean, it feels like typical DC comics, but I don't like your standard typical DC comics, but I don't like it either. I mean, I just get it's like somebody actually called it DC's Secret Warriors, and they're not necessarily wrong about that. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard any they haven't had any kind of premiere video like Marvel has with Secret Warriors, not Secret Warriors, New Warriors. My bad. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. New Warriors, not Secret Warriors. But that's my bad. But yeah, I haven't heard the entire time. I haven't heard anything much about them other than just their names and maybe description of powers. And I'll just say it's not very well done characters to me. It's just not. And all I gotta say is if they're a part of this new 5G Generation 5, which I've heard more like Generation 5 now instead of 5G idea, it's just go. I mean, I'm still hearing that this is kind of going to happen, but just not in the way that Dan Didio was going to do it. And y'all probably know before all this really started bad, that he was fired, and a lot of his because like I said, his initiative just won't going nowhere. It's just like it was just spinning wheels in the mud. Like one minute he was there, and the next minute he was fired out of nowhere, and his initiative just kind of fell by the wayside a little bit because you really didn't hear about it so much anymore. And Jim Lee was saying stuff like, we're not going to get rid of the heroes. The older heroes, they're still going to stay around and everything. And like I said, you just haven't heard much about 5G or Generation 5, whatever they're calling it. Calling it a nail in the coffin of the company, or a coffin for the company. I mean, you just don't know what it's going to be, and you just don't know what to make of it. But for right now, they've actually shut down production on that too. But there is some shining rays of hope in terms of that, and that I saw this past week on a video on a channel called Comic Frontline, that or at least a member of a channel called Comic Frontline on his individual channel, that new comics have started coming in from DC again. They've actually started putting out new stuff again, because there was for a while there they had actually stopped. As I said, that for a while there they actually stopped putting out new stuff. Now DC has put out new stuff again, and that's a ray of hope. And I also heard it is like that. I think Diamond said at least by May 5th. I think they said it was May 5th. Sometime in May they were going to try to get everything back up and running again, and hopefully start getting some new books out again. So that's a ray of hope in terms of comics. But in terms of like pop culture at large, like geek culture at large, things are still kind of there's kind of uneven waters, and it's just like kind of choppy waters because of the fact that I mean, you got all these geeky movies that all these superhero movies that are now up in the air as to when they're going to hit movie theaters. I mean, their theaters are closed right now. They've had to move. I see, Godzilla vs. Kong is still on course to come out in November. It was already scheduled for November. But then you got Black Widow supposed to come out later on this year. Of course, like I said, I could care less about that. But Wonder Woman has been postponed, even though all of the merch that is supposed to be coming out for both those movies is out now. I mean, I've seen Black Widow figures out, movie-related figures out. I've seen Wonder Woman promo bags of Doritos out at grocery stores. I mean, I've seen the stuff coming out for the promo aisles for movies that ain't even going to be out for the summer, possibly, but possibly be out for the fall, because they've already moved Black Widow to about the same time Godzilla's supposed to come out, and I'm just like, oh boy. And might get into that in the future, but yeah, things are kind of dicey in terms of that. The Batman has suspended production. I mean, and most of the CW DC stuff has ceased production, has postponed most of their episodes, and thankfully there are some that is going to be able to end with a pretty good season, but there's some that's going to probably have off-season premieres, because season finales, because it's just going to be like, hey, you didn't ever get to finish the season because of this whole mess, you know. And I said most of that is just almost in shambles a little bit. But I also found out yesterday the big announcement that San Diego Comic-Con has been canceled this year. And it's just like, whoa. I was like, that's a biggie. I mean, there's been plenty of, I mean, at the start of this thing, I mean, you were like iffy about Comic-Cons and stuff. Like comic conventions, like Emerald City was kind of up in the air. WonderCon was canceled. I mean, there's been folks making up for it by having like online Comic Cons, which I think is pretty neat. I mean, particularly like Funko, they were having like a virtual con. They were the stuff they were supposed to unveil for like Emerald City and WonderCon. They were doing it like on YouTube. They were on their channel. They were showing like what's supposed to come out this year, and even offering up their special stuff that's supposed to be for that. They still kept pressing on, and they were just having their stuff. Of course, they haven't had another one yet, because I'm hoping there's going to be there's going to be something to make up for this hopefully in terms of a YouTube con, I mean, maybe San Diego should come up with an idea of having a, maybe they should be coming up with a virtual con. I mean, even if you can't be there in person, at least you can still do something, you know? I mean, that would be great. But as for right now, as of now, Comic-Con's canceled for the year. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of up in the air. I mean, there's been stuff that's been postponed till next year because of all this. And it's just, like I said, it's just all grades of weird and everything, but things will straighten out. They'll straighten out in time. And as I said, a lot of folks is just kind of scared and everything. And all I can say, as I said, there's plenty of things that you could do to just take your mind off this stuff and just stay calm and everything. The one thing I would recommend, like I said, if you're doing at-home quarantine and everything, which I'm gonna say I've been deemed an essential worker, so I got to keep going. But but all those who are at home or kind of stuck at home under quarantine, one thing I can suggest is like have you some movie marathon. One thing I suggest is just like to kind of stay calm, take your mind off things. Have some movie marathons. I can tell you that's one thing I'd be doing. I'd be digging out the seasons of shows and animated shows and live action shows and all the movie series. I'll be having like plenty of Star Trek and Star Wars and DC marathons, maybe even Marvel marathons. Plenty of like animated series and anime series marathon. I mean, just like make every day a marathon. I mean, like even if you have to break it up, like I said, if it's like a big season of something, I would definitely say just one season a day. I mean, that's something cool you could do. Another cool geeky thing you could do. Dig out the comic book collection. I said, dig up your comic book collection if it's just like kind of put away somewhere. Like I said, break out the comics, break out the graphic novels, and just sit down and read. And just put on some music, sit down and read. And like I said, all I can say, do. And just play some. That's another geeky thing. Play some video games. It's like I saw Geeks and Gamers online. They talk about now's a good time to break out the old games, the old retro gaming systems, and just have a ball. And like I said, that sounds like a pretty good idea. That's something I definitely would be doing. But the main thing I can always just say is just stay calm and stay healthy. And this is as to kind of paraphrase Shaun of the Dead, just sit at home, have a ball, and wait for have a bite to eat, something to drink, play some games, read some comics, watch some movies and TV shows, and just wait for this all to blow over. Is all I gotta say. I mean, I know there's a lot of folks out there that gotta go out and buy food and everything, and that's fine. And just all I can say is just keep your hands washed. I guess now wear a mask. Just stay safe, stay healthy, and just stay calm. Don't panic. Is all I gotta say. Just stay calm, stay healthy, and stay at home as much as you can. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is in terms of geek stuff. There's still plenty of stuff going on, and I said every day there's still stuff going on. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think of what I said? Do y'all think that comics are going to still be around, Me personally, I think they will, but what do y'all think about this? What do y'all think about these ideas that Marvel's been churning out and DC's been churning out? Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. And I guess that's all for today's edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. As always, you have any? I said, comment in the comment box below. Like, share, subscribe, and again, stay safe, stay calm, stay safe, stay at home, and have hope. And there's going to be a better tomorrow. And I'll see y'all next time.